Hi everyone, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles, and I am participating today in a collaboration. So let me tell you a little bit about it. It is being hosted by Susan House Creates. Thank you, Susan, for the encouragement to participate. So the challenge or the collaboration is we're making tags, and if I remember correctly, the only thing that was really like the required thing is to use some kind of stamped image. So there's some stamped flowers or words. And I stamped enjoy life on this one, joy, and I did flowers. Oh, and let your dreams take flight. I stamped on that one. So that was, the challenge, use some kind of stamped image or words. And then I think also the word stitch is in here. And I believe, Susan, you're a stitcher. You like to sew and stitch and all of those things, and use fabric and those types of things. So I did do some stitching, and I can't wait to show you guys some of the detail about this little piece here. So I'll do that in just a second. But anyway, these are the kind of the prototypes that I came up with. And I'm going to tell you about the materials that I used and kind of how I got to this point. And we're going to make a few together. This one is like a jumbo tag. I like, making things tiny and large. And then this one just opens up for writing space. And I anticipate this one either being mounted right to a journal page, so it'll just open up like that, or tucked into a large pocket. I love it. So I used some book page that is about, I think, flowers. And I just liked I think it was telling you like the growing season, the soil, all of that, annuals, biennials, that type of thing. But I liked the green and the cream colors that were behind there. And I tried to keep these somewhat neutral. Let's see, I also used some digitals from the Digital Collage Club. That's Tina over at Making and Creating. So I'll make sure that's linked. And I have a link and a coupon code for you if you're interested in that. Let's see, I used some of my seam binding ribbon. Oh, let me show you this. So one of these doilies that I picked up on my adventures, these to me, I think they're butterflies. Look at that. Aren't they gorgeous in there? And I carefully cut one out, and then I sewed it onto the tag. I don't know if you guys can see that I used kind of a neutral thread. I sewed around this circle, around the book page. Yeah, that one made me really happy. So I don't know, I'm not going to sew with my sewing machine today, but we might hand stitch, or I may kind of glue and do something. We'll see. I just really loved that butterfly. This paper is some handmade paper that I picked up, a big sheet of it at Scrap in Baltimore, and that is one of the consignment places for craft supplies, and I've been holding on to it, and I just decided it was time to use a portion. So some of these I have sewn around. I love that stitching around there. I just off camera went ahead and sewed around, and then I have a couple of pieces if I decide to use them that aren't stitched. So that's what I did with that one. This one is that paper, some of that book page. I stamped right onto it here. And I decided to use one of my Stampin' Up! Stamp pads. I haven't used in a long time. Always Artichoke. Again, just to go a little different, have a little bit of a green tint in here with the neutrals and the birds. So pretty. And then this one, again, Enjoy Life. I topped it with some of my sari ribbon, a couple little pieces from this doily, a button, again, book page, and a little bit of washi tape. So really simple ideas. We'll see what we come up with. For me, it was more about the layering and trying to just really enjoy the process. Like I said, I love that stitching. We'll see what I come up with as we just make a few together. Now, if you want to play along, go ahead. You can do it today. You can do it, even if you do it a few days from now. And if you post something, use this hashtag, Stitch Paper Tag Collaboration. I'll have it in my videos, so you'll be able to find it. And I will link Susan's channel and anybody else I can think to link, but use that hashtag and go find some of the other videos. I'm going to try to keep mine not too long so that you have plenty of time if you want to go check some of the other tag videos and get some inspiration. So I'm going to set those aside. Let's start with using one of the ones that I kind of prepped. This is kind of that rough edge of this paper. Again, making me really happy. Here's where I cut it. You can see the difference. I think I could probably rough it up a little bit, but I haven't really tried. Anyway, I like it, and it makes me happy regardless. So let's just, this one doesn't have as much of the color, but let's just get ourselves a few strips of paper that we can start layering with and see where we're at. Yeah, what does it say? Biennials, plant selector, or something like that. Okay. And then I'll show you how pretty. I don't know why. I have a whole collection of these, and they're still juicy, and I've had some of them, I don't even want to tell you how many years. And I use them to dye my seam binding all the time. I don't know why I don't think to use them more. I guess I just keep using my distress inks. And of course, if you don't have other ink pads, but you have a distress ink pad, you can use that. It's fine. I'm just kind of going and using some supplies I haven't used in a while. It's one thing that's so fun about different collaborations is sometimes it makes you pull out things or think about things you haven't done in a while. So that's fun. So again, thank you, Susan. Now, if you are one of my regular viewers, so glad you're here. Thank you for joining me. If you're new or you hopped over because of this collaboration, I'm happy to have you. I hope you will enjoy and have some fun with us. If you haven't already, please subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and drop me a comment. All those things. All right, I have quite a few pieces, and some of them, like I've sewn around. Ooh, that's pretty. And prepped, and some I just have cut out. I love these eggs. So I don't want to cover up that really pretty stitching, so I think I'm going to kind of keep them to the inside. And maybe we'll do one of the bird cages that I cut out. And I'm trying to remember the name of this kit on the Digital Collage Club. I'll find it and put it in the description. But if you're a member, of course, you have access to all the kits. And but sometimes you can search, but I understand sometimes it's a little hard to find them. So okay, so I have that there. I like that. We need to get our stamped word and or image. So I pulled out just a couple of stamp sets. I think like this one was even from the Dollar Tree. This one may have been too. I got rid of a lot of my stamps. I still have quite a few. This one, Joy, is one of my favorite stamps, so I use it all the time. Let's see, maybe we will stamp a bird this time. Since I'm not using a bird image, I'm just using some of these. So let's wait just a minute, and let me go ahead and just start gluing these pieces down. So I've got my hot glue ready in case I want to use it, but this is just paper onto paper, so we'll be fine with my regular glue. I think I was going to this side, wasn't I? Sometimes you have to pivot. Okay, so again, this is when I stitched around off camera. I'm gonna bring it about there. And then we will glue down our bird cage. Let me make sure I'm not off frame. Okay. So now I'm thinking maybe that bird. Let's try this one that's flying. So these are just, easy cling stamps. And again, I used to stamp a lot and was really into Stampin' Up, and had friends I made cards with, and we used them to scrapbook everything. And you just kind of get into different things through the years. All right, we're gonna try it and hope that it looks good. Yay! All right, so there's a stamped image, and think I'm sitting on my little towel. So, and when I did that, I had all the things, you know, to clean my stamps, and I took such good care of them, and now I'm not quite as, I'm not a good role model, so take care of your stamps, take care of your supplies, and I'm not always the best at that. How about we do beautiful? I kind of want a sentiment as well. I think I'm going to stamp this, though. In fact, I may just stamp it onto some of this book page and then tear it off and glue it down. Ooh, isn't that stamp pretty? Okay, wiped it off. I probably should replace my stamp cleaner supplies. And I may still even have some of it. I don't know if it's any good anymore. At least the scrubber would still be good. Okay, so let me set these aside for a minute, and I'm going to use my little tear ruler. Now, while y'all are watching this video, my husband and I are going to be on our way on vacation. So I am filming this ahead of time. But like I said, if you just found out about this collaboration and you're like, I want to play, go ahead and make some tags and then post them. Whether, you know, video would be great if you do videos, but if you don't, you know, and want to post a picture, that would be awesome. You can always put it in my community tab on YouTube. I have that set where people, you know, my followers, if you want to, I'm trying to see where does it make sense to put this. I think I'm going to put it right there, even though it covers up some of the eggs. I'm just going to put it there. All right. Now, I want something at the top, and so the question is, do I want to do some different ribbons, kind of like I did here, or do I want to just put a piece of my seam binding? Let's see, maybe some seam binding, but let's pick a color. The neutrals, my neutral set that I have out right now, I think there's still some available, are, I think, really looking pretty with these. Let's go with this one. This one's almost like just a creamy white. Now, while I am out of town, I try to make sure this is clear for y'all. Let's just tie a bow and glue it on. This paper, I think, can handle being punched into and everything, but I don't want to risk tearing it. My Etsy shop is open for my digital products. What I do when I'm going to be out of town and I'm not going to be able to fill orders within the shipping time frames, then I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I will just, you know, hide those lists. I don't even know what it's called on Etsy, but where the listings, like for my print and ship paper, my ribbon, if I have a journal or a tag set or something available for purchase, those will not be available while I am out of town. I try to take a moment, a day or two before I'm going to be home, and go ahead and make them live again, because then I'll be home and have time to ship them within the promised time frame. But anyway, so if you go and you're looking for something and you don't see it, that's why. And then, you know, when I get back or close to the time I'm going to be back, there'll be more available. But you can still buy digital products. Okay, I hope that made sense. There we go. How pretty is that? See, it's beautiful and easy. So let's do another one. I want to show you, or I want to try to do one of these butterflies again, and then we'll do one with book page. I know not everyone has this type of paper, but I was just really enjoying playing with it. Now, you know, I am careful when I cut these out, but they really did come apart pretty easily. I left a few of the little, you know, the little strings that attached it to the doily a little bit longer, just because I didn't want to risk the butterfly fraying, and I think it looked fine. It really was pretty, or I think it's pretty sewn on like I did. So let me kind of look at this once I get it cut out, and it may be worth just taking a moment to put a few stitches by hand. And if you're like, well, why don't you just sew it with your sewing machine? Well, it's because I do not know how to film videos at my sewing machine. And so sometimes I think that's good because not everyone has a sewing machine, right? And if you want to see projects, okay, this is what it would look like if you choose to sew, and this is what it will look like, you know, if you don't, then I think you have some options, or if you do the hand stitching. Yeah, that's how I did that. It would be really cute too if I could find like a sequin or a bead or something to put on there. Okay, let's kind of think of some other layering, and then we will decide how we're going to get that butterfly on there. All right, those birds are pretty. All right, I have some circles. Those are nests. I love that owl. Look, and there's a baby. That's so cute. And then these two make me think of lovebirds as well. Isn't that pretty? We'll use that. I'm going to definitely use that in a little bit. And look at this peacock. Ah, love it. Maybe the peacock and the butterfly would be happy together. Let's see. And I definitely want a little bit of contrast. Wondering if another... Not that you really see peacocks in bird cages. I don't know. How about... Oh, let's do something different. Let's just do something different. Again, I'm trying to stay somewhat neutral, but let's get out some washi tape. And I think I'm going to use this one that I used on that other tag. It has a little bit of purple in there. This is IB Silver Flower Dream, one of my favorites. And I also am an affiliate with them. So if you are in the market for washi tape or stickers or things, you can use my coupon and my link if you're interested. All right, this one I did a little bit of a wavy thread and a straight. So let's just put that down and start to see. I may want to lay two and get it a little bit wider. We'll see what happens. We may need a little bit of book page too. Let's go ahead and put some ink on here on our lovely peacock. This reminds me when I was a child, my uncle had peacocks in their backyard in Florida. I don't know why Uncle Joaquin had those, but he did. And they used to scare me. And that's, again, the whole I love birds, but in real life, they scare me a little bit. So, all right, here's a little bit of that book page. And I have several pages torn here, so I could get, you know, a little piece of this part that I'm liking with the color. I'm going to tear... I'm going to kind of get to this section. Let me use that. All right, and I also have to remember my stamped image. I don't want, you know, Susan, feel like you forgot. You had one thing. You had one job, and it was to stamp. So I'm going to remember to stamp. Don't worry. We'll get there here in a sec. All right. So if I kind of get some layers going, that there, I don't know, maybe a little bird. What are some of, I don't want to have a nice stamp. Oh, maybe we'll just do Joy. Yeah, let's do Joy again. Oh, favorites. One of my favorite stamps ever. And it stamps, ooh, it stamps really nicely. Oops. In fact, I pressed down so hard, I got a bunch of ink on there. Didn't need to press that hard, Pam. Now, if I cut it out, like a little fussy cut, I don't think it'll matter. Let's also stamp it up here and see what happens. I'm going to not press so hard. Okay. They both look pretty good. This paper is not, it's not slick, but I am afraid if I ran my finger across it, it's not smearing. It just feels like it might, so I was trying to be careful. Now the other one, when I did Joy, I kind of just cut around it, but this one I'm just going to do, look, annual joy. But let's be joyful more than just once a year, right? But there we go. Oh, my nose is itching. I hope you guys, again, you're watching this on Saturday, the 27th of September. I am filming it about a week ahead. Well, this is Sunday, I think. But, yeah, I hope you guys are having a great day. And you like the ideas. I'm almost thinking, I want to use this, but I'm almost thinking maybe a smaller bird or a different shape. I brought that over, this here, put Joy there, and had a butterfly. I don't know, I'm liking that a little bit better, I think. I'm going to still have to figure out how I'm going to attach that. Let's try it, and then I get to use these cute, darling owls. I even used my craft knife and cut out that section there when I was doing my fussy cutting. Maybe like that. Okay. Let's try it. I think I'm gonna glue Joy to this paper like that. Let it hang off a little. We'll see what happens. We'll see. Okay. If you're listening, I hope you are, why don't you drop me a comment to me, you know, what is one of your like favorite pieces of ephemera that you like to make? Do you like to make tags? Do you like, oh, I meant to put Joy over the top, I think. It'll be okay. Do you like to make tags? Do you like to make clusters? Do you like to do circles? There's so many pieces of ephemera, right? Tell me what you like to make. Tickets. There's so much we could do. The piece of the needle I already have threaded is this dark brown. I think I'm going to thread a needle using this more neutral thread so that I don't see it as much on the butterfly. We'll see what happens. And, you know, again, I'm not stitching on the sewing machine, but if we wanted a couple of stitches somewhere, you know, you can easily use a needle and thread. And some people do not like to sew on paper with their sewing machine, which again, I understand. My sewing machine is literally, that's what it is for. And I do sometimes sew fabric, but that's not why I have it. Okay, I am going to do my best. I don't think I have to sew all the way around, but I'm just going to do my best to put, and I may, but again, I can spread the stitches out. I guess that's the way to say it, is I don't think I have to have a whole bunch of little tiny stitches to get this to hold on. We'll see. I know this is super fascinating watching me sew, right? But yeah, I think this is going to work, and it's going to look cute. And I didn't worry about the back of my other ones, and I'm really not worrying about the back of this one right now either. I will say, as I got the butterfly kind of stretched out when I sewed it, to me it looked more and more like a butterfly. I may have put this one a little too far to this side to get it really stretched out. But we'll see. And I probably could have put a little more thread on my needle. We may have to rethread it. We'll see. Again, I don't think I'm going to have to even put any thread on the antenna there or sew it down. And it kind of just disappears, which is nice. And I probably didn't even need to have it doubled. I could have done a single thread and been okay. But we're almost there. Let's see if I can make it. Whoops, don't pull too hard, man. All right, I think it's probably secure enough. And I'm running out of thread, but I made it almost all the way around. Look at that. Sewing on this paper is actually quite delightful. It is soft and sort of feels like fabric. Trying to make sure I tie a knot. Okay. Again, don't think it's going anywhere. Look at that. I wish it had come down just a touch, but that's okay. It's all right. I wonder if I want to put, another little, no, that'll look weird. Don't do that. We could think about, I'm just trying to see, do I need to fill in this with anything? I think I'm going to leave well enough alone. Let's try, I think I'll use my crocodile. Let's try, I don't want to punch my butterfly. Get a little tiny hole right there, and I'm going to be very careful when I put a little piece of this through. I wasn't sure, like I said, I don't want to tear the paper, so I wasn't even sure I was going to do this, but there, it's okay. Nice, nice, nice. Look at that. Love them. All right, and then we have these two. Okay, so let's do one just using some book page. Now, to make the one that opened up, again, couldn't be simpler. I did not get out any layering paper, so I don't know that I'm going to layer the journaling paper, but certainly can. I'm going to cut this. It's still going to be a nice size, but I'm just trimming it up. So I folded the paper in half, so now it can open up, right? And I used my template here and just pick one of the corners, and I'm going to cut it into a tag shape. Since this is a tag collaboration, there we go. And we will add a touch of ink. And again, you can make your tags smaller, like significantly smaller. You can decide to do like I'm doing and kind of say, I'm going to have a jumbo tag. I kind of like sometimes doing a jumbo because then I have lots of room to collage or decorate on. And when I put the neutral writing paper in here, it allows for, I'm going to go ahead and ink, it allows, you know, lots of writing space. Or if you wanted to write somebody a letter, again, in a journal, it's just another fun way to have space to write. But again, you could do it with a smaller tag. It doesn't have to be this big. And the size of mine really came about based on the size of the book page. There was no secret to, you know, there was nothing special about that. Now I said I wanted to use this, and I also said I wanted to do this. So maybe what we'll do is we'll decorate like the front, and then maybe do something, instead of just putting neutral paper on the inside, maybe we'll decorate one of the inside pages. Okay, let's just see what we can do. Again, these to me look like lovebirds. And someone probably knows exactly what kind of bird this is. I do not. If you want to drop a comment and tell us, go right ahead. You know, parakeet? But I don't think parakeets have such long tails. I don't know. Tail feathers. All right, but I am loving this Always Artichoke ink that we're using today. I think it's great for fall. And I don't know why, but I did. I was like, I want to kind of stay in a neutral palette. And I'm glad that I did. I'm having fun with it. Oh, here's some more of these eggs, which will bring a little color, right? Maybe this one. The other one I had already, like I tore and then I even sewed around it a bit, but let's just tear this one up. Makes it a little bit smaller. And so I can still see, you know, some of the text and stuff underneath on this page. Okay, fun. I love a torn edge. All right, lovebirds. Let's think about a sentiment. Maybe we'll just do smile, but we might do some of the flowers. There's flowers here and on that other set. Now, do I want to, I think I want to stamp smile onto a piece of paper and then add it. And I really liked how I was able to make the tab. So let's see if this will work. All right, smile. And then the way I did the tab, just kind of folded it over. And then it can hang off like this. Now I did take my little teeny tiny template and just angled the corners to kind of make it look a little bit more like a tab. Not necessary, but I liked it, so we'll do it again. So this was, again, just a strip of paper. Now I'm gonna have to cut or tear this end off once I get it where I want it. So I'm not gonna glue this down yet. I'm just gonna think about it because I really did like those lovebirds. Now we could use it as a belly band. That would be fun. All right, we could also just have our little birds here. I think I'm going to have the tab not hang off as much just because of where I ended up putting the word smile. I was trying to preserve those birds, but now I'm wanting to be able to put these birds like this. So there'll just be a tiny overhang there. Now the question is, do I want to leave it open? I don't think I do. I was thinking maybe a belly band that went that way, but I'm not going to do that. All right, I'm going to use this ruler and just tear an edge. And then again, let's just lay this down, lay the birds down, and let's just think about what else we want to put on here before I start gluing. All right, it definitely, this did not work for me as a layer, so I'm going to set it aside. And maybe just some regular book page. I used that on a few. So let's just tear. I hope I'm on screen. I have a lot on my desk right now. I'm gonna do a couple of a strip like this. Maybe just to break that up some. All right, let's put some ink on it and see what we're thinking. I'm not sure yet. Maybe some ribbon or some twine, or I don't know, some kind of textile with some texture. Decide where we want them. Gonna have that under there. All right, I'm looking at my piles. I have that. I'm just grabbing things. Ooh, these, yes. I wonder if I put a piece of this on here, and this, and this. Oh, what do you guys think? I'm liking these flowers on here. Let's go for it. Why not, right? Okay, so I'm going to hopefully cut a little bit of a nice edge. And I think I'm going to just have it be about the length of this piece. And if we want to use some more, it might work later. All right, I'm not exactly sure where this needs to be, but let's get that attached. I'm going a little to the left. It's almost centered on the book page, but not quite. And I don't need a lot. I'm going to have other things layered on top. Okay. Now I don't want this tab to close my tag. I want it to open, right? So let's make sure. I'm so sorry that the garage door is opening and closing. I don't think my husband realizes I'm working on a video, and that's okay. It really is okay. But I know you can hear it in the video. He was watching one of my videos the other day. I was in the kitchen making dinner, and he's like, "You can hear the garage door going up and down." And I said, "I don't hear it." He's like, "In the video." I'm like, "Oh, in the video." All right, I'm gonna hold this down. Usually I would glue the small side first, but I'm just being brave. There we go. Open up. And now we'll glue this side down, and I'll press everything down really good. Okay. I glue everywhere. Oh, even just like that, that is so cute. But when you add these fabulous, fabulous ones, how cute. Okay. And then we'll decide what else. So I said I wasn't going to make this a long video, and I have a feeling we've been crafting a while because I'm just having so much fun making tags. But we will stop after this one, even though I haven't used all the pretty birds and things that I wanted to use. Okay, smile, smile, smile. I'm gonna get a little more ink. Now, when I did the ribbon topper for this one, I just attached it, you know, to this, the front piece. If you wanted like to punch a hole or do something like that, again, I would only go through the first layer so you can still open it up. Totally up to you. You know, I don't know. I do think I need to layer, whether it's for journaling or something else, just to give this some more thickness. I think it would definitely help. Now, because I wasn't really prepared, I thought I was, but I forgot that I would probably want some neutral paper. I'm just sort of looking in the pile of stuff that I have on my desk. Let's see, maybe we will just use some ledger paper. How does that sound? Let's do that. And it's a little fragile, but it will be okay because I'm going to glue it down. Okay. The first thing I need to do is figure out the width. So each of these is a little more than 4 1/4 by a little more than 7. So I am going to, if I did 4 1/4, if I did 4, is this 8 inches? Oh, it is. Okay. So I can do 2 sections or 2 pieces that are 4 inches wide. Look at that, perfect. And then I'm gonna go for 6 3/4. If I want it a little shorter, I'll do that in just a sec. Let's see how it fits in there. All right, I think it fits nicely. So now what we are going to do is, I'm actually going to turn it this way. I am going to use this template, and I'm going to remember, okay, I used this edge, and I'm going to cut both of them at the same time. And when I do this using the same angle, it should match up for the layer nicely. Yep, there we go. Now, for time's sake, I'm not going to ink right now around this. I kind of want to, but I'm not going to. Probably should have checked the time, but anyway, you're still with me. Thank you. Sometimes I can just go really fast and get stuff done, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, this is pretty, and it's a squirrel. Okay, yay. And again, we can decorate these. I really, really wanted to use this silly peacock. Where is she? Where'd she go? Well, she's probably saying, see, you don't need to worry about gluing me down right now. Honestly, I have no idea. You guys can probably see it in the mess. Okay, so this added a little bit of structure. Now, I could, you know, put one of the items I cut out, like this lovely bird right here, just to kind of decorate the inside just a touch. I want it, let's put it right there. And then I was thinking I could put something on the back, and if I could find that silly peacock, that might have worked. Okay, I want something at the top, and I'm trying to decide. This ribbon is one of those where it's not printed on the other side. So sometimes when you try to tie a bow or something, it just doesn't look great. But now I'm thinking, wouldn't this be pretty right there? Just to make our inside look nice. Okay, I am going to try with my left hand to do a bead of glue right down that line. Close enough. Pretty. Okay, what am I going to do at the top? Let's think. I may reinforce it with a little piece of this washi that I have out. And then I was thinking I might punch. Of course, I don't want to accidentally punch this bird. Maybe we'll just tie a bow. Let me pick one of the other neutrals, since I have a bunch to choose from. And we will tie something. I keep going back to that one, but then I put it down and I don't think it looks right. Let's go with this one. It's got a little bit of a gold tone to it. Okay, fun. All right, so a lot of the things that I've used are just always linked in the description, whether it's from my Etsy shop or other creators or Amazon. So if you are interested, you know, check out that video description. You can always drop me a comment and ask a question. I try to help as much as I can. And I try not to confuse everybody. I know occasionally that happens. But thank you guys for sticking with me. Let's just, whoa. Well, I just threw that on the floor. Kind of scooch all of this over. Oh, I didn't use my buttons that I had out. I still don't know where I put that. Lovely peacock. Let's just see really quick what we have. All right, we have a lovely journaling tag, like the prototype. All right, and then we have the butterfly joy. Aren't they pretty? And then I also did on this handmade, recycled paper. Just a nice collage with some stamped images and words. This one has a button. Yeah, I'm happy. I really like this collaboration. I hope you guys like what I came up with, and it inspires you to get your stamps out and make some tags, okay? Again, Susan, thank you for the invite, and I had a lot of fun. Until next time, everybody, have a great day.